Finally, a live episode again. Well, I guess not live, but a new episode. Last week we had like a little highlight video, kind of chronicling that's not a word at all. How's it going, guys? And welcome to the James Skrmetta Experience. I am your host, James Skrmetta. Finally, a fresh episode, new takes, hot topics, not that kind of hot topics. Don't need any spikes here. Last week we did a best of compilation. 10 episodes, the first 10. We took the best bits, made it into one video so all of you could catch up and kind of relive what happened with the show. And it gave me a chance to look back and see where we were and where we've come now. I just wanted to thank everybody for all the support, the continued support, even the commenters who comment on the videos and tell me some positive things they like or some criticisms to make the show even better, except for this guy. There's no room for people like that. And now that the show's kind of picked up pace, we don't have to worry about people like that anymore. Oh, come on. On the heels of maybe the two best songs of all time, Justin Bieber sat down with Complex Magazine and gave us the greatest quote in the history of quotes. Bieber said, quote, "You don't need to go to church to be a Christian. If you go to Taco Bell, that doesn't make you a taco." The quote came in a long conversation about how he's not really religious anymore because of some weird things that's going on in the church. Don't worry, JB, you've done absolutely nothing to make me think that you would be religious.
What do you mean? Hey.
Very rarely does baseball get talked about, especially on a Sunday during the NFL season. Enter Jonathon, Papelbon, Mississippi's own. Now, Mississippi's known for politeness and hospitality, so let's see how everybody's favorite bullpen bad boy handled a disagreement with Bryce Harper.
See Papelbon saying run the ball out. And Bryce saying you got to be kidding me. And then Papelbon went right after Harper. It's getting ugly, folks. There's no other way to put it. That stuff happens throughout the course of the season, but that's not good.
Now that video is pretty jarring, I'll give you that. It's jarring for everyone except national fans. You see, fans of the preseason World Series favorites, who are now barely 500, are pretty used to watching their players choke on the field.
Oh, well done.
Rumors were swirling Thursday in Tuscaloosa that offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin would be fired. Now, he wasn't being fired for play calling or bad games or even the loss against Ole Miss. He was getting fired allegedly for sleeping with Nick Saban's daughter, Kristen. Now, nothing's come from the story, and nothing probably will, but people in Tennessee are still pissed. Mostly because no matter what happened, Lane Kiffin was probably in Kristen Saban longer than he was in Knoxville. Here's a twist that no one saw coming. CrossFit might actually be hurting you. Wait, are you trying to tell me that this isn't good for you?
There you go.
Dr. Brooke Campbell from the Virginia Institute for Sports Medicine said that some of the exercises in CrossFit can cause damage that's frankly irreparable. Now, he didn't exactly say what the injuries would be, but one can only assume that maybe they're injuries to the ear from constantly listening to what the workout of the day was. Or maybe injuries from a car accident, from all those damn decals. Here's a video out of California of a kid getting to what's coming to him for picking on a blind kid.
God! Out of here! Hey, yo! You, bro? You okay, Austin? Good, Cody. Alright, come here. Are you okay, dude? Like, you're not bitch. Trying to jump a blind kid, bro?
Dude, whoa, what's your problem? Get the away from him.
He's punching a blind kid, bro. What the is your problem?
I just asked your drive.
I swear to God, dude, if you this kid again, I will you up.
Good news. Disciplinary action has been taken. The kid that interfered has been completely kicked off of the football team. Wait, what? That's right. The kid that interfered and saved the blind kid has been kicked off of the football team. So let's recap. The blind kid was blindsided. The kid that saved him never saw the punishment coming. And I can't really see the point of the discipline. An incredibly important study released by the CDC last weekend shows the vast majority of excessive drinkers are not alcoholics. The study shows that 9 out of 10 excessive drinkers are not dependent on the actual alcohol. The study's author, Bob Brewer, explained that most of excessive drinking happens during binge drinking, where men consume up to 5 drinks in a short period of time and women consume somewhere between 3 to 4 in about an hour's frame. Great news for me because now I can finally quit defending my lunch breaks at work. This week, in news stations completely failing to do their job, WGN in Chicago ran this graphic when doing a story about the Jewish holiday Yom Kippur. For those of you that know your astronomy, this yellow star right here represents a badge that Hitler made the Jews wear at concentration camps in the 40s. I think it's safe to say that WGN did not see the criticism coming, and frankly, I don't think it's their fault. I went digging around in the young intern's desk and found the folder full of holiday graphics for the new season. Kwanzaa, Christmas, Cinco de Mayo, and Flag Day. I don't actually get one. It must have been a typo. A Pennsylvania journalist was sent on a story to report on 2 missing children and inadvertently solved the case. Center Daily Times reporter Sean Anarelli was sent to cover the case of 2 missing brothers when he heard some rustling and voices in some nearby woods. Quote, "I made my way down a little path, and after I turned one of those little tiny bends, I see 2 kids crouching down and 2 backpacks sticking up." I'm not sure what this guy's next assignment is, but if he can find 2 little kids that have been missing in a little wooded area in about an hour, then me and him need to sit down because I've got quite a few story ideas for him. Houston police had themselves quite a doozy Saturday night whenever a rescue attempt went horribly wrong. Just before midnight, 2 guys jumped the owner of a Chevrolet truck. They tried to carjack him, but a passerby saw him. He pulled out his Second Amendment and sent a few freedom slugs to the thieves. Unfortunately for this wannabe John Wayne, the bullets didn't actually hit any of the thieves or the car. It actually just hit the car owner in the head. The shooter picked up the shell casings and fled the scene with the thieves. The suspect was in good condition as of Sunday morning. This reminds me of an old Rick Perry slogan that I think people in Texas might know. The only thing that can stop a good guy with a gun stopping a bad guy with a gun is another bad guy with a gun to stop the original good guy with a gun who was stopping the bad guy with a gun. Something about a gun. We need guns. America was transformed to the Holy Land for a little bit last week as Pope Francis had his first ever journey to the land of the free. Now look, I love the Pope. I'm a huge supporter of the guy. He's a perfect person. He's truly a man of God. You know, he came and he talked about climate control. He talked about corrupt politicians kind of getting back to what's right. He talked about giving to the poor. He talked about punishing priests who have been proven guilty of sexual abuse in the church. He even turned down a fine dining experience with high-ranking officials in New York just to go eat with the homeless and share a meal with those less fortunate. Like even right now, I'm checking Twitter. Every single story is about the Pope, even though he's not even in the country anymore. Like this one right here. Apparently on the plane back to Rome, Pope Francis showed support for Kentucky clerk Kim Davis, saying, quote, "Government officials have a human right to refuse to discharge a duty, such as issuing marriage licenses to homosexuals if it violates their conscience." Like I was saying, can't we just fire this guy?